Hi friends, this is Satish, and today we are going to see a topic on time and distance, right, which is a fast track method. Friends, nowadays the question is getting so difficult on time and distance, right, by just practicing whether the train moves in a platform or the man crosses. Don't learn those questions in our exams, right? Just go for the toughest sum, and though you learn the toughest sum, always practice the toughest sum by normal way of solving from the options and LCM method, ratio method. There are so many methods are there to solve time and distance, right? I have just taught you of 4 sums. I can guarantee that you will definitely learn so many new things from this 4 sums, right? And also another thing is that I have solved each and every question by a normal way of solving, and ratio problems, ratio method, LCM method, and so many different methods I have used in this 4 sums, right? Just see these 4 sums. I hope that if you watch these 4 sums, I can clear that you will get an idea to solve in how to solve this time and distance easily, right? And the people who are writing LIC AAO, that is 2016, after this 4 sum there will be a small video that which shows you what are all the previous year time and distance question, right? 2014 to 2009, what are all the different types of question and different concepts they have asked in time and distance, right? You can see this video on last timeline of this video, right? And the great drawback of most of the students is that I can clearly say one thing: people will solve thousands of questions on time and distance, right? Though I give 2000 questions, they used to solve and they get the answer, but they doesn't know how the sums are coming, how they are framing a question, right? They will just use a formula and they get answer, and they just put x and y here and there and they will get an answer, but they doesn't know why we are putting x here, how the formula occurs. If you know how this formula occurs, why we are putting x here, if you know these two concepts, doing a toughest question in a bank exam is so easy, right? Another thing is that though you learn 1000 question, once you sit into your exams, in a bank exams, the main drawback is that they doesn't know how to proceed a question. Though they practice 1000 question, by seeing a new question in a bank computer, they doesn't know how to proceed itself. So this is the great problem of so many students, right? If you need to solve a question in a bank exam, just kindly watch the remaining, which I made the 4 videos. I hope that definitely you will learn 50% of time and distance only on this 4 question, right? Just we can go for the interesting sums on time and distance. We can go for a first question on time and distance, right? A previous 4 or 5 bank exams, we can clearly see that these types of questions have been repeatedly asked, right? I am not talking about the exact question, right? I am just talking about the concept of the question. And you can see those questions like a pilot increases the speed by 1000 kilometers and reaches the country by 40 minutes early, 20 minutes late. So these are some of the type of questions they are asking in banking sectors, right? So the sum which I am going to teach you now is most important concept, right? And I am just going to teach you 4 methods: a normal way of solving, and a formula method, and from the options, and also from LCM method, right? First thing, we can read a question here. A covers a certain distance between home and college, right? Just A is covering a certain distance between home and college, and its speed is 30 kilometers per hour, and he reaches 20 minutes late. And next day he increases his speed by 40 kilometers per hour, and he is early by 10 minutes. They are asking us to find what is the distance between home and college, right? This is what the question. First, we can go for a normal procedure, right? Friends, remember that we can have an exact time, that is 10, right? 10 a.m. or 10 a.m. is an exact time where we reach the college, right? But in first case, if he travels in 30 kilometers per hour, he is late by 20 minutes, right? So if he travels 30 kilometers per hour, he is late by 20 minutes. So he will reach college by 10:20. Understood, friends? Why? Because 30 kilometers he reached 20 minutes late, but a perfect time will be 10. Okay. In next case, the speed is 40 kilometers per hour and he reaches 10 minutes early, right? So if he travels in 40 kilometers per hour, he is reaches 10 minutes early, right? So if he reaches 10 minutes early, the time will be 9:50. Understood, friends? This is a correct time. And when he travels 30 kilometers per hour, he reaches 20 minutes late. When he travels 40 kilometers per hour, he is reaching 10 minutes early. So I have just drawn here. Friends, by a normal way, see here, this is an exact time, right? Difference between this time will be 10 minutes, right? So difference between this time will be 20 minutes. So we can clearly say that the overall distance between the both the times will be 30 minutes, right? So time 1, time 2, right? Both times. So time 1, time 2 difference is 30 minutes. See here. So time 1 difference time 2 is 30 minutes. Understood? Right? So we know that time equal to distance by speed. And so quick distance as x divided by speed. Initially it travels in 30 kilometers per hour, right? Difference is minus, right? Both are same. Time 2 is at distance x, its speed is 40 kilometers per hour, right? So 40 equal to, what is the difference between both the time will be 30 minutes. Friends, see here one thing, the options are all are in kilometers, right? Here 30 kilometers per hour, 40 kilometers per hour. It is in kilometers per hour. But here it is in 30 minutes. So we need to get an answer kilometers. So we need to strike hours, right? So in order to strike an hour, I am just going to put 60 here. Why? Because I am just going to convert this 30 minutes into hours. So if I convert this into hours, I can cancel the hour and hour. Finally we can get an answer only in kilometers, right? So 30 by 60, which we can know that 1 divided by 2. Right? So 0, 0 cancel, 3 and 6, 1 by 2. Friends, by taking an LCM will be 120, right? LCM of 40 and 30 is 120. So 4x minus 3x equal to 1 divided by 2. So 4x minus 3x will be x divided by 120 equal to 1 by 2. So x is equal to 60. Right? It is a normal way of solving, and we got a distance as 60 kilometers. The option 2 will be your answer. Okay friends, we can go for a second method, which is a formula method, right? Okay. The formula is that distance, we need to calculate this distance, del t into S1 into S2 divided by S1 difference S2. It is the formula, right? The del t determines that the time between the two times difference. What is the two time difference? In a previous case we have found that difference between both the timings is 30 minutes. So 30 divided by 60. Why? Because I am just want to cancel the hours. So I am just converting minutes into hours. Into speed 1 is 40 and speed 2 is 30, right? Divided by difference S1 difference S2. So both the speed, one is 40, one is 30. So difference between the both the speeds will be 10 kilometers, right? By cancelling 30 and 60, it is 1 divided by 2. Okay. So 40 into 30 divided by 10. So here it is 2. So denominator it will comes 2. So 10 into 2 is 20. If 20 and 40 will be 2. So 2 into 30, which gives you 60 kilometers. Option number 2 will be your answer, right? Okay friends, we can go for a next from option method, right? Friends, see here, we know that the time gap between the both times will be 30 minutes. The difference of time 1 and time 2 should be 30 minutes, right? So what I am going to do is that they were asking a distance, right? We used to calculate a distance and finally we take an answer. But in an option, we can assure that the distance, in this 4 option, any one will be your answer, right? So what I am going to do is that I am just going to assume 90 kilometer as my distance, right? So if I assume 90 kilometer is my distance, initially he travels in 30 kilometers per hour. So 1 hour 30, 2 hours 60, 3 hours 90. So if he travels in 30 kilometer per hour, he will reach 3 hours. Understood friends? Okay. Next day he travels in 40 kilometers per hour. So if he travels in 40 kilometers per hour, see carefully here, 40 kilometers for 1 hour, 80 kilometers for 2 hours. Understood? Remaining is 10 kilometers. If he travels 40 kilometers in 1 hour, half an hour he will travel 20 kilometers. So 15 minutes he will travel 10 kilometers. So it takes 15 minutes. Understood how I wrote this? So 40 kilometers, 2 hours 80 kilometers, remaining will be 10 kilometers, 1 hour 40, half an hour 20, 15 minutes 10. So 2 hours 15 minutes. Here 3 hours. So difference between both the timings will be 45 minutes. Right or wrong? 2:15 he reaches 3 hours. So difference between both the time will be 45 minutes. But in the initial itself we know that difference between both the time will be 30 minutes. How can this be an answer, right? So option number 1 gets eliminated. We can go for option number 2, which we can take 60 kilometers as distance. If we travels in 30 kilometers per hour, so 2 hours is enough. Right, 1 hour 30 kilometers, so to get the kilometers per hour, so 2 hours will be 60 kilometers. Go for next 40 kilometers per hour, right? 1 hour he can travel 40 kilometers, remaining is 20 kilometers. If he travels 1 hour 40 kilometers, then for half an hour he will travel 20 kilometers, right? Only remaining is also 20 kilometers, so 1 hour half. So 1 hour 30 minutes is required to travel the 60 kilometers if we had a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Now see the difference, here it is 2 hours, here it is 1 hour 30 minutes, the difference between both the timing is 30 minutes. Right? We know that the condition number 1, time 1, time 2 difference is also 30 minutes, right? We can assure that this will be an answer. Don't go for other option and waste your time, right? So we can directly take an option as 60 kilometers will be your answer. We can go for next, we have completed this option. We can go for LCM method now, okay? Which was the most important method to solve these types of sums. See here friends, we know that always remember one thing, the difference between time is 30 minutes, right? Initially we have calculated. Keep this as it is. Okay. If 40 kilometers and 30 kilometers per hour, we doesn't know what is the distance, right? We are not talking about from the options. We need to assume some of the values. So if we need to assume a proper value, it is better to take an LCM, right? If you take LCM of 40 and 30, we can guarantee that 120 kilometers. Understood friends how I am did? So if 120 kilometers will be taking by LCM, right? This will be easy to calculate. If 120 kilometers, if he travels in 30 kilometers per hour, right? We are assuming and keeping constant 120 kilometers. If he travels in 30 kilometers per hour, what will be? In 4 hours, he will reach this 120 kilometers, right? Similarly, if 120 kilometers, if he travels in 40 kilometers per hour, understood friends, 40 kilometers, he will take 3 hours. Understood what I did? In order to assume some of the value, what I did, I just took LCM. 40 and 30 LCM is 120 kilometers. I am just keeping this value as constant. If I keep 120 constant, in order to go 30 kilometers per hour, he will take 4 hours. Similarly, 40 kilometers per hour, he will take 3 hours. So we can clearly say that the difference between 4 hour and 3 hour will be 1 hour, right? 1 hour difference. So in this 1 hour, what will be the difference of the speed is 120 kilometers. Understood friends? We are making this as a constant and we are just assuming both the condition. Both the conditions shows that the difference is 1 hour. So in 1 hour, 120 kilometers will be a distance. 1 hour will be what? 60 minutes. Understood? But we need to calculate only for 30 minutes. Difference between 30 minutes. But here 60 minutes is 120. So 30 minutes will be definitely 60. So 60 kilometers will be your answer. Alright, so I have just found the difference between both the timings and I have got 60 minutes which is 120 kilometers, but we need only 30 minutes. 60 minutes 120 kilometers, so 30 minutes 60 kilometers, so 60 kilometers will be your answer. Friends, I have solved in normal method, formula method, from the option and also by LCM method, right? These are the 4 important methods to solve these types of sums, right? And we can go for a next interesting sum. Okay friends, we can go for question number 2, which is based on 2 trains meeting, right? Friends, just see the question here. One train is from Chennai to Delhi and another train is from Delhi to Chennai, right? So start simultaneously. Both the trains are starting simultaneously, right? After they meet, somewhere if they proceed each other, definitely they will meet at one point, right? After they meet, they reaches the destination 9 hours and 16 hours respectively. What is the ratio of the speed, right? I hope that 60% of people, you may know the formula that speed 1 divided by speed 2 is equal to root of T2 by T1. This is a formula, right? So speed 1 and speed 2 is the ratio of the speed, keep as x divided by y. So T2, time taken by the first train and time taken by the second train, which represents T1 and T2. T2 is that the second train, how much time it takes. Second train takes 16 hours, right? So root of 16 divided by time. What is mean by root of 9? Understood friends? T2 is root of 16 and T1 is root of 9. So root of 16 is 4, root of 9 is 3. So 4:3 will be a ratio. We can directly go and take an answer as 4:3. Right? If you go for this method, nowadays getting a sum like this in your bank exams, we can't able to expect these type of easiest sum, right? The question is getting so difficult. If you need to crack a crossing, right, a train 1 train 2 crosses, or man 1 crosses a man 2, cyclist 1 cyclist 2 crosses, if you need to solve those type of sums, though it is difficult, you should have understood what is the concept behind this sum, right? If you know the concept clearly, you doesn't want to use these formulas in your exams, right? Though the question is tougher, by only using the 3 conditions, you can definitely crack a question if the question is concept based on a crossing, right? See here friends, we can assume, right, if this is a distance, right, we are not talking about this is Chennai and this is Delhi, right? If we doesn't know what is train 1 speed and what is train 2 speed, there are 3 conditions. Either both the trains can meet at the center point, right, midway between Chennai and Delhi. This is condition number 1. Go for condition number 2, Chennai and Delhi. Another possible chance that both the trains can meet near the Chennai station, right? I am just talking about approximately near the Chennai station. Here it is midpoint, and the second condition is that either it can meet near the Chennai station, right? So third condition is that either the 2 trains can meet at approximately near the Delhi station, right? These are the only 3 conditions where they can meet, right? Whatever the sum be, we are not talking about exactly train, right? We can also take 2 cars, 2 men running from an opposite direction. If they meet, the question is like a meeting point, only 3 condition follows. Either they can both the person can meet at the center point, or near the station Chennai, or near the station Delhi, right? We can go for the conditions now. If they meet at the center point, we can clearly know that both the train speed should be what? Same, right? Only if both the train should be same, they can meet at this center point, midpoint between the distance, right? So we can frame a question here, right? 2 trains starts from Chennai and Delhi, right? 2 trains, one from Chennai and another from Delhi simultaneously. After they crosses, clearly watch, after they meet or crosses, the train 2 takes somewhat time and train 1 takes somewhat time. But you should clear that if it is a midpoint, we can seriously say that both the time which to takes is 1 hour, whatever be, but both the timing should be same. Right friends? Why? Because the train meeting a center point, after crossing it takes the same time, where the train 1 also takes the same time. From this we can clearly say that the speed of train 1 and speed of train 2 should be same, so the ratio will be 1:1 ratio. Understood? Clear in the concept? Right. This is the concept number 1, right? We can go for a second concept, right? This concept, just take here, Delhi and Chennai, right? We can go for this concept. Yeah. If this train, both the trains meet here, we can clearly say that the train 2, right? This is a train 2 and this is train 1. We can clearly say that when compared to train 1, train 2 speed should be what? Definitely the speed of should be higher, right? Here the train 1 speed should be lower. Why? Because the train is meeting at this point which is nearer to Chennai station, right? Only possible chance if this condition occurs, the train 2 speed should be higher, then only the train 2 will travel a longer distance, right? Understood? So just we can frame a question. One train starts from Delhi and another train Chennai and another train starts from Delhi, right? Both the train crosses each other. After crossing, keenly watch here, after crossing, the second train takes less time to reach Chennai, right? And the first train takes a longer time to reach Delhi, right? So what is the ratio of the speed is that, see here, the second train ratio should be higher when compared to first train. If the second train speed is 40 kilometers, just for an example I am saying 40 kilometers, then definitely the Chennai, the train 1 should be 20 or 10 or 30. Why? Because always the train 2 speed should be higher when compared to train 1. Understood? Just we can compare this with this point. See here, one train is from Delhi and another from Chennai, right? They after meeting each other, they reaches the destination 9 hours and 16 hours. Train 1 takes less time, right? Train 2 takes 16 hours. Whether this condition follows? Exactly wrong. Train 2 should takes only less time, right? Train 1 should take more time. The condition is just like opposite, right? So we can clearly say that this condition doesn't follows according to the question. We can go for the third sentence, right? Third conditions. Chennai and Delhi, right? If this train, both the trains meet approximately near the Delhi station, we can clear in the concept that the train 1 speed should be I when compared to train 2, right? So, if we can frame a question, one from Chennai and another from Delhi, after they crossing, watch here, the Delhi train should take more number of times when compared to Chennai train, right? Only Chennai requires this much of time to reach, but Delhi train requires there is so much of distance to cover, so it takes a longer time and this takes a shorter time. So if this condition follows, this will be your answer, ratios. Just go for it. After they meet, they reaches the destination 9 hours, that is train 1, and 16 hours, that is train 2. Clear? So this condition is followed, right? So if this condition is followed, we can clearly say that the train 1 speed should be higher when compared to train 2. If the train 1 is 60, then definitely train 2 should be 50, 40 or 30 or 10 or 20. Right? This will be a ratio. Why? Because in every condition train 1 speed should be higher. We can go for this option, friends. See here, 2:3. If the option is 2:3, the speed we can assume that 20:30. Whether this is correct? No. Why? Because we know that first train speed should be higher when compared to second train. See, exactly wrong. Go for this option, 60 and 70, wrong. It is lesser and 70 speed is higher. So wrong. Go for 9 and 16. 9 is 90 and 160. Definitely no. First train is 90 kilometers and second train is 160 kilometers. How it is possible in this condition? Wrong. Go for the second option, 4:3. We can assume that 40:30. We can clearly say that first speed of the train is 40 kilometers. Second speed of the train is 30 kilometers. I can assure that this option will be true. Understood, friends? So solving these type of question using a formulas is waste. So many people will ask me that what will we do if two formula, if 4:3, there is another option called it is 9:5. What will we do? Okay, they will be somewhat different, friends. If you know this is a simple concept, right? I'm just going to teach you the next 5 sums. If you watch those 5 sums, I can assure that if the 4 option is like this, you can seriously solve the sum, right? In a previous sum, we use LCM method. If you use the same LCM method here, you will get an answer, right? If not, just mail me. I can text you how to solve this sum by using an LCM method. Okay, so learning a formula is entirely waste for nowadays in a bank exams. Understanding the concept is much important, right? We can go for the next question. Okay, friends, we can go for a question number 3, right? So if we take this question, the most commonly asked concept in SBI exams, right? These are the questions where the concept of this question is repeatedly asked in so many clerk exams, right? So we can go for this sum, which will be so interesting, right? See here, two friends X and Y starts from A and B at a distance of 39 kilometers. They have said that there are two friends X and Y, and right, X and Y walks from A to B, right? We can clearly know that both the persons are walking from A. Why? Because see here, walks from A to B, right? Both the friends are walking from, this is the point A, right? A to B. Somewhere else the point B is there, and they have given that A to B at a distance of 39 kilometers. The distance is 39 kilometers, right? Okay, at 3 kilometers per hour and 3.5 kilometers per hour respectively. This shows that AX is 3 kilometers per hour, right? So we can go for this 3.5 kilometers, which is 3.5 kilometer per hour, right? Okay, and they are walking. Y reaches the B. See here, friends, Y, both are walking in this direction, and they have said that the person Y reaches the B and return back, and he is returning back and meet X. So he is meeting X at C. Find the distance between A and C, right? So now the important concepts. See here, Y reaches this point B, right? And he again return back and meet this X person at a point C, right? So they are asking what is the distance between this A and C. This is what the question is, right? So if I hope that 50% of the people know a formula that 2D into A divided by A plus B. This is the formula for this question, right? If you, without knowing any concept, if you just by add this formula 2D into A plus B, you can solve this sum. But nowadays the bank question are getting so difficult, right? I just want to suggest you that learn this formula, by add this formula, right? But before bycutting, just have an idea that how this formula occurs is most important. If you know how the formula occurs, I can clearly say that whatever the question be tougher, you can solve the sum, right? According to this concept. Okay, we can go for how this formula occurs, right? Okay, friends, see here, we know that 3.5 kilometer per hour will be the speed of y, right? And assume that I am not talking about where they are exactly meeting. I am just going to assume if they are meeting at this distance, right? If they are meeting at this point, the distance between A and C will be 30 kilometers. I am just assuming it. They are meeting at 30 kilometers, right? If they meet at 30 kilometers, just note the distance traveled by the x is just traveling only 30 kilometers, right? We can go for y. He will just go to B, which he travels 39 kilometers. And he again turns back and reaches the point C. He is covering 30 kilometers. So only remaining 9 kilometers B will cover. So 9, which is 48. Understood the simple concept, right? This is the thing where x covers. This is the thing where y covers. Y needs to cover the entire distance. And again he turns back and comes to point C, the remaining 9 kilometers. So 48. So 48 plus 30 gives you 78 kilometers. Understood? This is the distance traveled by y and this is the distance traveled by x. So the overall distance traveled by both of them is 78 kilometers. This 78 kilometers shows that the overall kilometer is 39 kilometers. They are both x and y are covering double the distance. Understood one concept, right? I am not talking about 30. Just you can go for 20 kilometers, right? See, we can go for people will ask why you took 30 kilometers. We can take 20 kilometers, right? They are meeting at 20 kilometers. So the x travel 20 kilometers. Understood? Go for y. How much the y covers? X travels 20 kilometers. Go for y. Y is the person who travels to B, which is 39 kilometers, and he returns back. In order to come this distance, he want to cover the remaining 19. Right? If he covers this 19, see here 30 plus 1, 40, 30 plus 10 is 40. So 9 plus 9 is 58. 58 plus 20, which is 78. Again the same kilometer, double the distance, right? So what they are doing is that in this formula they are putting 2D. This 2D refers that both the person are covering the double the distance, right? So in order to they want the distance between only A and C, right? Meeting point and the distance between A. So we know that the A speed is 3 kilometers, that is x speed is 3 kilometers. Why? Because from A to the point C only x is covering. So they are concentrating on x. So x divided by the x plus y. This is the formula, right? So only the formula occurs. If you need, so many people say that I doesn't go for any formulas, right? I use only the concept in time and distance. For those people, I am just going to solve. The overall distance is 78 kilometers, right? Wherever they meet, the overall kilometers will be covered by both x and y will be 78, right? So into, see here, into. What is the ratio of both the speed? One ratio is 3. See here friends, keenly watch. First person ratio is 3. Second person ratio is 3 1 by 2. Right? 3 1 by 2 kilometers per hour. So keeping 3 as it is. 3 2s are 6. 6 plus 1, 7 divided by 2. So 2 into 3 is 6. 6 is 2. 7 will be the ratio of both their speeds. We know that the overall speed covered by both of them will be 78 kilometers. The ratio is 6:7. We should calculate only the distance between A and this point. So in order to cover this point, we should calculate only the person x. Why? Because x is traveling this distance, right? So what is the ratio of x and y? X is the ratio of x divided by the overall ratio. 6 plus 7 is 13. If we cancel it, 6 times and 6 into 6, 36 kilometers. We can got an answer. That is the point which is A to C is 36 kilometers. Friends, we can go for option method, right? So we know that they were given that somewhere both the person x and y are meeting, right? So we can go for the first option. They were meeting at, assume that here it is meeting, right? So A and distance will be, first option is 30 kilometers. Just we are assuming it from the option. If this is 30 kilometers, what is the speed of x? Speed of x will be 3 kilometers per hour. Right? So if it is 3 kilometers per hour, in order to cover this 30 kilometers, x will take 10 hours. Understood what I did? So he is traveling at 3 kilometers per hour. In order to cover this 30 kilometers, he should take 10 hours to travel. So same 10 hours, if the y takes, he should cover the remaining distance. Understood? If this occurs, I can seriously say the option number 1 will be the answer. See here, what is the speed of y? Which is 3.5. Right? So multiply 10 into 3.5. Right? See here, 10 into 3 is 30. 0.5 is 5. So which gives you 35. 30. Already here it is 35. Here it is 30 kilometers, right? So 30 plus 35, which only gives you 65 kilometers. In the previous case, we hope that the both have covered double the distance. If double the distance, what is double the distance? That is 78 kilometers. Understood? In the previous case, we have shown. So the option number 1 gets eliminated. Understood? We can go for second option, right? If they meet, second option is 36 kilometers. If they meet at 36 kilometers, right? X travels in 3 kilometers per hour. In order to go this 36 kilometers, he should take 12 hours. Understood? So if we take 12 hours, 12 into 3, which gives you 36. So we can go for y. What about y? Y travels 3.5, the same as, right? 12 into 3.5. This shows that 12 hours, right? 3.5 is the y speed. So 12 into 3 is 36. 0.5 is 6. So 36 plus 6 is 42. Right? So how I calculated is 12 into 3 is 36, 0.5 will be half of the 12. So half of the 12 is 6, so 36 plus 6 is 42, right? Already x cover 36, y covers 42. See here, 36 plus 42, which is 78, which gives you double the distance, right? Which we saw in previous case. So 78 kilometers covered by both the person, which is exactly correct. So 36 kilometer will be your answer, right? So friends, learning or by hearting the formula is okay, but don't by heart the formulas without knowing the concept, proper concept, right? If you know the proper concept, though the sum is tougher or they will give some of the, we can assume that, right? If they tell that in every hour they increases the speed by 3 kilometers, right? I'm just saying, for simple I'm just saying, here it is 3 kilometers, in our exams they can ask you that for every hour they are increasing a speed by 3 kilometers. You can't use this 2d divided by a plus b. Definitely I can assure that you can't use this formula, right? So in that case, if you know the proper concept, I can clearly say that you can solve whatever the sum be, right? We can go for fourth interesting question, which will be so interesting. Okay friends, we can go for a last question, which is so important question for recent bank exam. Train 1 left Delhi for Bombay at 14.30 hours, traveling at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. And train 2 left Delhi for Bombay on the same day. See here friends, again Delhi for Bombay, this train is also Delhi for Bombay, right? So we can clearly assume that both the trains are starting from a same point, okay? And traveling in the same direction, okay, on the same day at 16.30 hours, traveling at a speed of 80 kilometers. How far the Delhi train meets, right? They are asking that from the Delhi, how far the distance where the two trains will get meets, right? I hope that most of the students may know how to solve this by a basic method, right? Basic method is so easy. But we can go for a formula method, right? Which you doesn't know, right? It is one of the important formula. See here friends, just draw a diagram according to the question. We can assume that this is Delhi and this is Bombay, right? So train 1, where is train 1 is here and train 2 is here. Train 1 speed is 60 kilometers per hour, and similarly train 2 speed will be 80 kilometers per hour, right? They have given both the speed, which is train 1 and train 2. But one thing they have given that train 1 starts at 14.30, but the train 2 starts at 16.30, right? There is a gap of 2 hours. Understood? So what I'm going to do is that first we can go for train 1. If train 1 starts, it should travel 2 hours. Why? Because train 2 is still standing at a station 1. It has to travel, it has to start only at 16.30. But before 2 hours, the train 1 will travel some distance, right? So we know that train 1 speed is 60 kilometers per hour. 1 hour it will travel 60 kilometers. For 2 hours it will travel 120 kilometers. So now the train 1 is here, which is a gap of 120 kilometers. Understood the simple concept, right? Now there is a gap of 120 kilometers. Now the time is 16:30 hours. this train is going to start and the train 1 is here, which moves in, both are moving in the same direction, and there is a gap of 120 kilometers. They were asking where does the two train meets, which is train 1 and train 2, where the two train meets and what is the distance between the station from Delhi and the train meets, right? This is on X. So they are asking what is the distance between X. Friends, see here, what is the gap of 2%? 2%, the gap is 120, right? This is one of the easiest method. 120 is the gap of 2%, right? So we can go for, if you, I hope that you might learn, if two trains have moves in the same direction, what will you do? Whether you subtract the speed or add the speed, you will definitely subtract the speed, right? So we should calculate that from train 2, right? Here it is train 2. From train 2, what is the distance between this train 2 and the X? Understood? We should not concentrate on train 1 here. Why? Because our target is to find the distance from Delhi to the point where both the train meets. So if we need to concentrate here, the train going to start is T2, right? So the train 2 is 80 kilometers. So 80 kilometers. Understood why I did this? This is the gap of 120 kilometers. We should target train 2. Train 2 is 80 kilometers. If both the trains are moving in the same direction, subtract their speed, which is called as a relative speed, 80 kilometers, and this train 1 will be 60 kilometers per hour. So if we subtract both the speeds, will be 20, 0, 0, just cancel, 4, which is 480 kilometers. So we can clearly say that the two trains will meet from the Delhi station at 480 kilometers. So it is one of the easiest method to solve these type of question, right? We used the formula method. If anyone wants to know a basic method, just mail me. I can send you the basic normal procedure of solving. We can go from the option, which is most important thing, right? See, friends, we know that what is the gap of two timings, right? If 14:30, 16:30, we can clearly know that the gap of two trains will be 2 hours, right? So we can go for option number 1. Option number 1 is 120 kilometers. First train which travels in 60 kilometers per hour. If the train 1 travels in 60 kilometers per hour, in order to cover this 120 kilometers, it took 2 hours. Understood? Right. Second train 80 kilometers per hour. So 1 hour it will travel 80 kilometers. Remaining is 40 kilometers. If it is capable of per hour 80 kilometers, half an hour will be 40 kilometers. So 1 hour 30 minutes will require to travel this 120 kilometers. But we know that the difference of both the timing is 2 hours. Where the difference of both the timing is 2 hours, here the difference of both the timing is 30 minutes. But we should get 2 hours, right? So option 1 gets eliminated. Go for option number 2 and option number 3. Go for option number 3. I hope that you just practice on 360 and 500, right? Go for option number third option, which is 480. If I go for 480, first speed 60 kilometers per hour. So if this train travels in 60 kilometers per hour, 8 hours will require to cover this 480. Second, it travels in 80 kilometers per hour. So if this train travels in 80 kilometers per hour, it requires 6 hours to travel, and this 480 kilometers. See here, 6 hours, this is 8 hours. What is the difference between both the timing? 2 hours. We already know the distance between both the trains will be 2 hours, right? So we are getting the difference. So we can clearly say that 480 might be our option, right? So friends, just practice according to this method. Question asked in 2014 LIC AAO, right? Okay. First, what they have given is that there is a two station, which is A and B, right? And the two trains are starting, one from station 1 and similarly another train is also from station 1, right? But the thing is that train 1 starts at 9 a.m, right? And the train 2 starts at 12 a.m, right? There is a gap of 2 hours, right? So if this time occurs, then when will the train 2 crosses the train 1, right? This is the question which they are asked in 2014 LIC AAO, right? We can go for 2013. In 2013, what they have given that there is a two station from A and B. There are two stations, right? One train is moving from station A to station B, and another train is moving from station B to station A, right? They didn't give what is train 1 speed and what is train 2 speed, right? And they have said that after crossing, this train 2 takes some hours and similarly the train 1 takes some hours, and they were asking to find what is the ratio of train 1 and train 2, that is speed, right? They have asked that. This is the question asked in 2013. Okay, we can go for 2012. And in 2012 they have said that there is a circular field, right, and they have, in a circular field they have given, this is at this distance like 12 kilometers, 13 kilometers, like they have given some of the distance of this, and they have said that there are three persons A, B, C, and they have given A is 20 kilometers per hour, B is 30 kilometers per hour, and each person they have given some of their speeds. And what they are saying is that they were starting at this point and they have started to run around this circle. So if they run around this circle, they were starting at 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. how many times they are meeting together, right, in a circle, in a circular field, right? This what the question they have asked in 2012 LICAO, right? Go for 2011 LICAO. What they have said that similarly there are two cyclists, right? So two cyclists starting from A and another cyclist start from A. So they have said that this cyclist number 1 reaches the destination, right? He reaches the destination and again he turns back and comes here and reaches this person at some point. Understood, friends? What they have said, a cyclist 1 who reaches the destination and he came back and meet the person A. They are asking what is the distance between this meeting point and A. This is the question they have asked in 2011.